Good day, and I'm glad to be with you. I just want to send a shout out to my subscribers. I want to say thank you so very much for being supportive of my program. We are doing very well, and I'm so thankful to your ingenuity and your kindness by sharing my video, hitting the notification bell, and liking them. Those of you who have not followed this thread, I ask that you kindly do the same. Because of you, I'm able to sit here to give you some information or insight on issues pertaining to our country, Liberia, and Africa as a whole. Today we are going to talk about something that is very peculiar, very important to our sustenance, our living in Liberia and Africa. You know, many a times we complain about our governments. We don't have enough food. We don't have enough rice on the market. But I want to make us to understand that the countries that we import rice from, do you know how they got the rice that we import? It's by the people, the citizens of Thailand, China, wherever else Liberia gets its rice. They go to the soil, toil the soil, and they grow rice. The same thing with Ivory Coast and Guinea. They plant pepper, they plant onions, they plant all of these okra and stuff. It's the same thing that us Liberians can do. But sometimes it seems that we are on the lazy side. We want to be spoon-fed. We want people to always give to us. We never want to put effort to be able to accomplish or achieve those things that are necessary for us to achieve. Going back to the soil and planting rice, okra, pepper, onions, and all of these things that we need, you know, bitter ball and eggplant and all of these things that we eat in Liberia, they can be grown in Liberia. We don't have to import these things from other countries. Because what we are doing is we use our meager resources, spend $11 million each year or more to import rice from foreign countries. And that 11 million could be used on our roads, on our infrastructures, education, health. Instead of giving to somebody else to give us what we ourselves can grow. Liberians are people who are resilient. I believe it. But we only need to put our minds to it. We need to get up, people. We need to stand up. You know, when Tolbert was alive, the late William R. Tolbert Jr., he said something that was so interesting to me. At the time, I was much younger. But he said something that was very important. He said, total involvement for higher heights. We all need to put our all into it. We need to get into it totally. And when we get involved totally, we see our life growing from one stage to the next. He even mentioned from mat to mattresses. These are the things we need to start to think on. We need to step back and re-examine our attitude, our thought processes. How do we go about being self-sufficient? We have the land in Liberia. We have very good soil. We can grow anything in Liberia and it will happen. But why aren't we doing it? Why we continue to import pepper and groundnuts and everything you can think about? We will import them from Guinea, Ivory Coast, Sierra Leone, and other countries around. We import rice and stuff. Why do we do what we do? Why we continue to hurt ourselves as Liberians and most African countries? We order. We always tend to order. And then when there is this stable food is not there, we start to protest. We start to riot. When those of you on the street that are protesting or rioting could go back to the soil, go to your villages, go to your towns, go to your cities, go to your counties, Go to the soil. Plant these things, grow these things so that you can sustain you and your family and even sell some to other people. And we can even export those things. The same way people are exporting it or we are importing it into Liberia, we can export it to other countries. And we can generate more funds in our country so that those money can be used for the development of our people. Instead of sitting down on our reel and always waiting for a handout. We are not those people. You know, when we're in Ghana during the civil war in Liberia, I worked at a place called Paloma Arcade as a waiter. And because of who I was or my determination, when expatriates and Caucasians and other that came to Paloma because they sold pizza and drinks and food and all kind of things, and I was there serving. And when I spoke and they heard my accent, they asked me, "Where are you from?" And I said I was from Liberia. And those people gracefully gave me heavy tips because they felt that I wasn't on the street begging. I found something to do with my hands as a person from Liberia. I was in Ghana and I was working, earning little something, and that was able to help my family to sustain us. I remember I used to get so much tip until my wife and I went and bought clothes and medications and stuff. And during the Civil War, we fought our way up through Ivory Coast into Nimba. Because people there were dying from minor sicknesses and illnesses. Babies were dying. So we were determined that we were going to do this. And even though my late godfather helped us out with his friends and gave us money and we bought a whole lot of medication, and we're able to take it to Liberia to help our people during the Civil War. That's what I'm talking about. We need to be progressive. We need to be innovative. We need to think out of the box, my people, so that Liberia can become a better place for all of us to live. Let not only depend on the government. Everything, we ask the government to do this. We ask the president to do this. We ask this other person to come and help us out. Oh, this person is not the right person the government put in power. This person is not the right director, the right commissioner, the right superintendent. We complain and complain and complain. The time we take to complain, we could take that time to return to the soil, to put our minds and our ideas towards growing our own food, being sufficient, helping ourselves so that we can keep the money that we use to importing into Liberia. And we never go hungry. And maybe somebody there might say, "What are you doing? What part are you playing?" I remember once upon a time someone asked me that very question. You're talking about cleanliness, you're talking about development. What are you playing? What part you are playing? My part is I'm developing by building houses. I'm right now working on the third house. And the thing is, we plan on returning to Liberia in the near future. And we are going to purchase land somewhere near Monrovia. And we're going to start to grow food that will help ourselves. Even if I don't sell my rice, even if I don't sell my pepper, my bitter ball, my eggplant, my tomatoes, my okra, even if I don't sell it, at least I will have enough to eat. And that will be one person or one family that is not part and parcel of protest and confusion in Monrovia or in Liberia. So I want to ask all of us Liberians, let's return to the soil. Leave Monrovia. Monrovia is overcrowded. I don't know how much we are enjoying Monrovia. How many people are really enjoying Monrovia? Some of us are living in slums. We are living in Zinranhos, in the swamp. We are suffering in Monrovia. You have your county. You have your cities. You have your towns, your villages. Return to those places. Return there and go back to the soil. You know, I fully believe if we all decide to return to the soil, the government will be able to at least subsidize some means that they can help you to buy shovels and hooks and diggers and cutlasses and whatnot. Some means could be and generated so that they can help you because you want to go back to the soil. If almost every Liberian who are capable enough can decide to return to the soil to grow more food for our country so that our people won't suffer, they won't starve. Instead of depending on the government spending millions of dollars to import these things, we can grow them in our country. we can grow them and leave the government to do what the government should be doing for us. We need good education. We need good school buildings. Every part of Monrovia, we need good roads, farm to market roads. We need medication. We need hospitals and clinics that are well stacked up with drugs and capable hands to take care of our people. The money we are sending out there to import things that we can grow in our country could be used for the intended purposes. Why should we strain the government? Why should we continue to complain about the government when we are able to take it in our hands and say, you know what, I am going back home? If hundreds of thousands of Liberians decide to go back to the soil, do you know what difference it will bring to our country? Everybody trying to grow food. We will have so much food that you won't even know what to do. You know, some of us go to the Ivory Coast, the Cote d'Ivoire, and we see the Burkinabés and the Ivorians growing plantain and bananas and food. Stuff is everywhere. They have livestock everywhere. When you go to Yamoussoukro, you see them selling. They're roasting meat. And we say, oh, look at what these people are doing. They're doing so well. Look at the amount of food. Brothers and sisters, it is the same Africa. Cote d'Ivoire is next door to Liberia. And they have enough. Why can't you and I do the same in our country? Why can't somebody come to Liberia and say Liberia have enough? They have more than enough. Why can't we do it? The only thing we need to do is to unlock our minds. Unlock our minds and begin to see the bigger picture. And not always stay in our little box. We need to step out of our comfort zone. We need to step out of that sandy box and begin to go out there and begin to think. Look, we all have traveled. Many of you have traveled. Some of you came from Ghana as refugees in Ghana for years. You were there for 30, 36 years. You have returned home. Go back to your villages. Don't go and settle in Monrovia. Go to your towns and make a difference there. Make a difference. If the people there don't are lackadaisical, if they don't have the mindset to do these things, you who have come, you who are in Liberia, who are educated, who have seen the word, who have the technical know-how, go to your villages, go to your town, leave the cities, go back to the soil. Let us have total involvement. And when we have that total involvement, guess what? We are going higher and higher. For total involvement brings about higher and being higher. Not being in the same place all the time. We need to grow Liberia. The country needs to grow. And the only way our country can grow, how can a person having empty belly do anything? You know, they say a hungry man is an angry man. That's why some of the problem we are having in Liberia today, people protesting here and there, and people having fighting. They are doing this and doing that. They don't want to respect anybody. When the government try to clean up a place, the marketing president will come and say, oh, why are you doing this? Because people would not be selling. You are more concerned about people selling than people dying, because guess what? Those filth that is all over the place, and people are sitting by those places and eating and passing by and selling stuff. That disease, that sicknesses it brings about, regardless of people want to sell, they can find someone else or let them clean that place. And when they come and sell there, they make sure that that place is clean before they go home. People will not bother them. But because of our mindset, it is so limited. We need to begin to expand our minds so that we can see things from a different perspective. We need to go back to the soil. We need okra. We need pepper. We need onions. We need tomato. We need rice on the highest level you can think about, because that's our what? Our staple food. But if we have land, if we have fertile land, why don't we go back to the soil and use these swampy area and the land that we have that are so fertile, and you can grow anything you can think of, pineapple and anything, banana and plantain and just anything you can think of can be grown in Liberia. We have good soil. Let us make the best use of our soil. Let us make the best use of our soil and leave the government alone. The government has its own burden. Sometimes I sit and I listen to people when they go in the market. Oh, I want to call President Joseph Boyka to please help me and my children. I want to call on the president to please come and do this for us. What are you doing? What are you doing? Why can't you help yourself by going back to the soil? Why can't you do that? Why is everything is begging, begging, begging? Liberians are not beggars. We are not beggars. We are people who are resilient, who are strong and innovative. That's who we are. And let's put it to action. Let's put that into action. Let the world see how resilient we are. That we're not beggars. We don't go around begging people for things. That we can do things in our own country and make the best of it. So that we can have enough food to eat. That no one will go without food. No one will go. You see, if you even grow the food and you got enough, you can sell that food out to people. You will have money to buy your kerosene. You will have money to buy your salt, your chicken soup, your pepper. You can have money to do many things that doesn't require going to the soil. But if you go to the soil and you grow these things and you sell them, guess what? You get money and you can buy those things that you can grow. So we need to step up. We need to get totally involved in the agriculture system in our country. Our president, well, once upon a time, the Minister of Agriculture, he studied agriculture. Now he have decided to revamp the agriculture system in our country. We all need to get on board. But we can't all get on board when we sit down in Monrovia. It's so overcrowded. For that reason, Monrovia is so hot. We are right on the Atlantic Ocean. Right off the Atlantic Ocean. And Monrovia is so hot. Because we are overcrowding the place. It's obvious. You know. If you went to a room and you packed that room with so many people, what do you think of that? Even if you have air conditioner on, that air conditioner tends to drain or drown because of the amount of heat that is there. Why don't we go back to our villages and our towns? And return to the soil. Go and grow those things. Sell them and make money. Agriculture. Here in America, agriculture, those who are farmers, they make money. Do you know that here in America, people don't give farmer children scholarship? Because of the amount of money that they get. Even though some of them are subsidized by the government. But I bet if we in Liberia decide to go back to the soil, the government will see what we are doing and they can subsidize some of the things we do. They will subsidize some of the things we do. They will give us stuff to be able to be more productive, more innovative, more stronger, to be able to succeed in what we want. But if we keep sitting on our hands, on our rear end, and always look to the government for everything the government must do it for us. You know, once upon a time, I went to Bopley. I was in Bopley. That's where I spent about 2 years in Bopley. Most of us from Liberia, we should know Bopley because that's where a lot of us went through in order to get into exile. It's through Bopley, right? And I was in Bopley, and I decided to go back to the soil. I went and I got people together. I was the coach of the soccer team there, and I was really encouraged my boys. We all went together, and they brushed a farm for me. I went there. I burned the farm. I was looking. My body was totally black. I'm light-skinned, but my body was there. But because of the farming work, I was totally involved in it. But unfortunately, I couldn't stay there because of the situation, the circumstances. I had to move to Ivory Coast. And those that I left the farm with just sat there and they let animals and stuff take control. I planted cassava and all these things were there. But sometimes that's the kind of heart we have. We never have that innovative heart. Someone came and did all of this work. Pay people to help out. And they leave it with you. To say, okay, you just take care of it. When the rice grow, the cassava is all yours. And they just abandon it. That's the kind of heart we have. For the scripture says that the heart is wicked above all else. Maybe that's why I had to leave Bopley and move on into exile. Because I thought people want to appreciate what we were doing. But it seemed like, no, that wasn't the case. But I was doing it in my little way. That I knew I had to survive. I had to take care of my family. And I went back to the soil. I went back to the soil. It's unfortunate that I didn't eat anything. I didn't enjoy anything from the soil that I went back to because I had to leave Liberia because of the situation that was arising in Bopley area and other parts of Nima. But what I'm trying to pinpoint here is you who are listening to me today. You don't have to be in Monrovia. You don't have to be in Saniquale. You don't have to be in Banga, Kakata. You don't have to. You have your villages that your forefathers came from. Our forefathers taught us how to go back to the soil. We need to make the best use of the knowledge they give us, the wisdom they give us, the technical know-how. If we need to know how to go about farming, contact the Ministry of Agriculture. They will teach you. They will send people to help train our people so that they can grow more food and grow it adequately. Not just throw stuff everywhere, but be able to do it, where they will have a mega farm, and this farm can produce and sustain. Even you all don't have to do it individually. If you live in a town, get the chief and others involved, and everybody can get together and brush a huge farm that can take care of that entire town. And then you people, when you get it produced, you divide it. If anybody got more, the town got more, they sell it and they bring the money to do some development, dig wells, and help to build a clinic in the town and do things together. Unity is strength. Unity is strength. But if we all want to be selfish, this is my own, that's my own, this is my little, I will not let anybody come here. No, sometimes you can do your little for yourself, but if you decide to do a group thing and you all put your effort into that and make it a workout, guess what? All of you benefits from it. This is not the idea of just one person. For strength is in unity. It's in unity. We all need to come together. But let's return to the soil and grow our staple food, rice, and stop bothering the government to order 11, 12, 13, 15 million dollars worth of rice. And then when it comes, few months is over, and then government have to look for another 11, 20 million dollars to purchase rice again. Whereas we are sitting there and we could be on the farm doing something for ourselves, helping ourselves, getting more healthier. Because the more you get involved, Liberians, Africans, the more you get involved into exercising your arms and your legs by walking and using cutlasses and whatnot, you become more healthier. You become more stronger. You have enough to eat and you can live a longer and a decent life. Today we have so much people suffering in our country. So many people that are living in dilapidated forms. Until now, everybody are selling in order to survive. If everybody sell, who's going to buy? And people complain, oh, nobody is buying from me. Look at nobody buying from me. So the point you realize they should move. The people here, Devier Junction. I was just listening to a guy the other day, or so-called press guy, saying that, oh, the people have not yet finished and they ran about over at Devier Junction because they haven't put red light there. My people, when there is a roundabout, and I'm saying it slow so you can listen, they don't put stoplight at roundabouts. Roundabout replaces stoplights. So that thought that you have about, oh, they have not finished the people because they didn't put stoplight, get away from it. Don't fool our people. That's the problem we are having. That limited mindset where we don't know things and we go and say it, and then people begin to rise up and say, oh, they didn't finish the roundabout yet because they didn't put stoplight. We don't need stoplight there. Stoplight is not needed there because that's why we have the roundabout. When you come, you see somebody going in the circle, you wait until that person passes, then you go ahead. But you don't go and put stoplight to where they have a roundabout. This is just a side thing. But I'm just bringing this in because that's how our minds are. When we don't know things, instead of asking questions or try to investigate or Google it or whatever, we go and say it out there in the public. And when the public hear it, they buy into these lies, into this kind of nonsense. And at the end of the day, they start to protest and riot and say, oh, they didn't do well with this roundabout. Look at the roundabout. Look at how it look. They didn't even finish yet. It's the same thing that going back to the soil. We need to go back to the soil. Let's stop bribing the government to go and spend millions of dollars for no apparent reason. Because when you buy the rice, you eat it, how long does it take? You go to the restroom, you dump it out, it's done. You need another one. But if you can sustain yourself by going back to the soil, you will be successful. Things will work out for you. And your life will be changed. It will never be the same again. It will never be the same again. So I want to appeal to all Liberians. Please, listen to the words of wisdom. For our country needs you. It needs me. And we all have to contribute our quota to help building our country. But if we spend the little we have, giving it to other countries that uses the money to develop their lives, and only thing we get out of it is rice, when we can grow our own food in Liberia, we can do better. I have no doubt that Liberians can do better. And this is our time. Let's take the bull by the horn. Let's listen to wisdom. Let's listen to innovative ideas and help our government help us. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you soon. God bless Liberia.